You're watching the NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN.
It's late May, and it's the Eastern Conference Finals, so of course you're at the Palace. The Pistons making a habit of this. The two top seeds in the East in our starting lineups, starting with the Miami Heat. And of course, Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade the keys, but all five starters averaging in double figures in the postseason for head coach Pat Riley. They've had a week off. Meanwhile, for the Pistons, this is their sixth game in 11 days, coming off that emotional Game 7 victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Sunday here at the Palace. And we'll see if those items are factors here tonight as we send it over to Lisa.
Well, Mike, the Heat canceled their usual pregame shoot-around this morning. Pat Riley opting instead to do a walkthrough in a very large ballroom at the team's hotel. Riley said, "We've had so much practicing over the last 7 days. We don't need any more time out on the floor. That walkthrough and a good film session, that was enough. We are ready to go." Now with more on the Pistons, let's send it over to Jim Gray.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. I spoke to Ben Wallace. I asked him if he was nervous about tonight's game. He said, "No, I was nervous for Game 7 against Cleveland, but I haven't been nervous since high school." I asked him if he's intimidated by playing Shaquille O'Neal. He said, "I haven't been intimidated by anybody ever." He said, "If you get to me in the fourth quarter, you can bet one thing. I will be nervous. I will have butterflies. I will be anxious. Good thing you can't talk to me then." Mike?
All right, Jim, thank you. And Yubi, we mentioned the disparity in how often they've played recently, with a whole week have gone by for Miami and the Pistons playing in so many games. What kind of a factor first for the Heat to being off for a full week?
Well, first of all, it depends upon how you approach it. You know, Pat Riley's going to be organized. They did a lot of sprinting, a lot of work on the bikes, etc. So the stamina is going to be there. Now, the Pistons, you know that they're razor sharp. Plus, they've had an opportunity of a day of rest, and they have been at home, Mike, for this little last period of days. So I expected the energy level and the people to carry them early.
A rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals that the Miami Heat had the home court advantage, yet they lost Game 7 on their home floors. The Pistons went on to the NBA Finals. And here's the fun matchup early. Shaquille O'Neal and Ben Wallace going at it. That's going to be something to watch the whole series.
Yeah, that's going to be the major battle. Players at both ends, Shaq and Ben Wallace, stay out of foul trouble. What you liked there was the fact that Shaquille used that drop step power move, and they made that move easy.
The Pistons, meanwhile, in the first round, they beat Milwaukee by 5 in 5 games. Not a difficult series. In the second round, they had that tough 7-game set against Cleveland, as Wallace is short. Meanwhile, Miami, 2 tough series. The first one against Chicago extended to 6. And although they beat Miami in 5 games, it wasn't an easy series for them.
Well, they had to score over 100 points. You know, you come out of that, Mike, and they averaged like 102 for the first 2 rounds, and they're on an offensive flow. But then again, they have not played against a defensive team of this quality of the Pistons.
The Pistons, of course, these starters have been together for the last several years. For the Heat, so many changes. But they seem to be, at least Miami, a team that's starting to play their best basketball at the right time of year.
Well, that's what they're hoping for. Mainly in the last 20 games, the team came around, and then also now at playoff time, they all seem to understand their roles and then also where the ball must go at crunch time.
Dwayne Wade's got Billups on him here, spinning, and Wade with it easy too. Wade continuing his annual great postseason run.
Well, we know that there are only 2 guards in the league that shot over 50% this year, Parker and Nash. Now, Wade ended at 49.5, so we're talking here that this young man also could have shot over 50%.
Billups on a pull-up, in and out, won't go. And Haslam, the underrated Udonis Haslam with the rebound.
Miami, an outstanding defensive rebounding team.
And there's Jason Williams. Williams, one of the key offseason acquisitions. Of course, coming from Memphis, who played for you, he's been bothered by knee problems, but when he's been healthy and he feels good, he's been very effective.
Well, he's missed 23 games, but he shot the best during the season for his entire career, field goal and threes. At playoff time now, he's just got to pick it up.
Hamilton goes into a brick wall. And the brick wall standing still, so no foul.
Now, they'll run the ball back at you now, and you have to be careful. When they run the ball back at you, you have Walker and Jason Williams shooting threes, and then this guy off the dribble.
Wade, tough shot. Count it, and one. Way to the basket, and a chance for a three-point play as Hamilton will pick up his first.
When you look at this guy's game, Mike, we know that he scores 27 points, 5th in the league. He's also doing that at playoff time. He can finish once he gets down in there with his right or left hand. He'll take you strong. He's 2nd in the league in foul shot attempts per game at 10.7. So you know he'll take the physical punishment as we move through the 48 minutes.
Wade was telling us yesterday he's waited a whole year to get back in the conference finals and to face the Detroit Pistons as Flip Saunders wants a quick timeout. Crowd a little stunned here with the start. 9 quick points for the Miami Heat. Miami Heat with a quick 9-0 spurt. 2.5 gone by here in the first. We've seen a number of layups early.
Well, you're going to see a nice drop set by Shaq. See, he's such a bundle anyway. You're looking for the jumper. Now watch this. This is just a dynamite drive and a spin move. Once the player at this level, a Shaq or a Wade, gets you on the back, it's over. You must pay attention to Jason Williams in the open floor because he will push it and take it all away.
All the baskets in the paint. Now again, Detroit put on a clinic in the second half of Game 7 against Cleveland, but they had a couple of defensive lapses during that series. Can't afford it in this series as Billups spots up. Haslem another rebound.
Well, we know that as we were coming to the second half of the season with the Pistons, they would fall behind by double figures in many games as we were coming down to the end of the season. Now, they also did that in a few playoff games. You are hoping that in this series that they will come out and answer the bell early.
O'Neal on the backer. And there was a game earlier this season that you talked about. They were down 15-0 to the Milwaukee Bucks and came back and won.
Now, there's a great move by Shaq. See, his first move, he took you into the paint, ran a drop step. That time, one bounce, reversed back. If he mixes it up, he's going to be difficult because we know he shoots that high percentage. He led the league again at 60% this year.
Foul on Antoine Walker, and with that last basket, Shaquille O'Neal moves past Karl Malone, 3rd place in the all-time playoff scoring list. Some unbelievable company. One of the great players ever as Wallace finally gets the Pistons on the board.
Now that definitely caught Miami by surprise on their rotation. Shaq left Wallace, and then you could see that was by design. That was a smart move because Shaq is going to look to double everything on the baseline.
Wallace did very little scoring so far in the playoffs as Wade drops it down, and Wade off to a very good start. 3 for 3 from the field.
Now he's looking good, and that's what you like about his game. He understands the range factor, and he understands when he's hot, he's going to melt you and take you strong.
Billups, who did not shoot well in the Cleveland series, but in Game 6 and 7 made the usual crunch time plays for this team. Right back to O'Neal. Again, Ben Wallace, one of the few that guards him one-on-one. Knocked away by Wallace. Jason Williams comes right back with the steal, but can't hold on. And it's going to be Detroit ball. Good hustle from Williams.
Now, first of all, at the defensive end, a great deflection by Ben Wallace going in there because Shaq had him beaten. And at this end, this is just a great play by Jason Williams. Unfortunately, he did not get it, but the main thing is they stopped the break.
There's Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, the leading scorer since he's been here, not just in the regular season, but in the postseason as well.
Mike, they've got to get him going early because that way Wade will have to spend some energy defensively.
Oh, pretty move. Jason Williams, when he's feeling it, such a good open floor player and not afraid to take it to the basket.
Once again, a point guard who can finish with either hand. That is such an advantage.
Here's Billups. Comes up short. That's where the Pistons will want to make Jason Williams pay for being on the floor. Williams not a great defender.
See, they're a problem because in transition, they just throw the ball in the Shaq and then they work out of it. The main thing is can they keep the pressure on you for the full 48 minutes?
Only the second miss from the field for Miami as they've got the early lead, 6.5 remaining here in the opening quarter.
Oh, he's wide open.
I did not expect it. He thought somebody was going to be behind him.
No, I was surprised. I mean, he was running across, and next thing you know, the defender was knocked off. There was no switch, no help. Now, if you are going to play that play, you got to be on the top side, or Rip's going to be ahead of you for easy shots.
O'Neal. Walker tries another three, and Walker shooting much better in the recent games. In fact, the last 3 games in the series against New Jersey, he shot 50% from downtown. He's starting to get a nice rhythm going. It's been an inconsistent year for him in his first year in Miami. Billups. Prince drives inside, gets bumped, and O'Neal picks up his first foul. The Miami Heat off to a terrific start on the road. They've already won a couple of big road games in these playoffs. The clincher against Chicago, games 3 and 4 in New Jersey in the second round. And here on the road, they've got a 12-point lead in the opening quarter of game 1. Miami Heat keep saying they didn't care if it was the Cavs or the Pistons, but there were a couple of players who thought otherwise, including Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, being in Detroit, it's fitting. It's a team we got to go through to be the best team in the East. And they proved us last year that they was the best team in the East. So, we got to prove to them this year that we are.
And he was telling us he remembers last year about those conference finals. The thing he remembers the most was looking up at the clock with 1:27 to go in Game 7, and his team was leading. And they relinquished the lead, lost it. And he says the thing he'll never forget from last year's series is the looks on the faces of his teammates in the locker room, the look of devastation of losing a game they felt they should have won. He said he doesn't want to see that look in his teammates' eyes in the locker room this year.
Well, it makes for a very difficult summer. It made for a major shakeup within the players and at the beginning of this year in the coaching staff. Now, when you think of last night with San Antonio with that brief lead at the end of the game and how quickly it changed, we saw it again in this year's playoff.
In Miami, Stan Van Gundy started the season. After 21 games, Pat Riley took over, and here you see some full court pressure.
Yes, you're getting a little 2-2-1. No trapping. All they're doing is trying to take some time off the clock, and then also to force you to go one-on-one. And Wade says, that is no problem early here tonight because I'm on fire.
He's 4 for 4. The team is 9 for 11. We've already seen a couple of different defenders. The plan is to wear him down with a number of different guys.
Well, Detroit, the Pistons are getting some good looks at the basket. Unfortunately, they're missing as of right now. The main thing is that you have to be happy that you're getting some good looks.
Here's Tayshaun Prince, continues to become more and more of an offensive force. The awkward shot, but so effective. He has played so well in the postseason. He was the MVP for this team in the Cleveland series.
Right about that, Mike. He's been outstanding. And he plays, and he averaged the most minutes of any player in that first round.
Alley-oop, and Ben Wallace knocks it away.
Ben Wallace read that all the way. You could see him shifting over to play that passing lane.
Billups to Hamilton, blocked by Haslam. Knocks down Rip Hamilton. Crowd wanted a foul, but good defensive hustle from Udonis Haslam.
Now, we've played basically 7+ minutes. We know that Miami is hot. Detroit cold. Detroit cannot get a second shot attempt, and that's why we told you. Detroit #1 in defensive, Miami defensively #1 in defensive boards.
And Hamilton, good quick drive to the basket. Now he's going to come back and, in many cases, guard Wade. Billups is on him now. How'd you like to be the Pistons perimeter guys? Last series you have to check LeBron James. Now you get Dwayne Wade. Billups, All-NBA second-team defense this year. Wade gets by him. Beautiful move.
Now, in the early going, I'm coaching the Pistons. I'm a little nervous now, mainly because they are getting to the rim for layup after layup and then dunk after dunk. Now, we have to get better in our rotations here.
Foul call on Jason Williams. Shot won't go, but Billups will go to the line for 2. Wade getting to the rim rather easily, Ubi.
Well, look, this guy had a fantastic year. 5th in the league in scoring, 27 points, and I told you a shade under 50% shooting. But you can see he has outstanding energy tonight, and he's getting by the perimeter defender with ease and getting in. And you say, well, where's the help? Ben Wallace cannot leave Shaq. Ben Wallace leaves Shaq. That ball's going right to Shaq, and it's going to be dunked in your face. So the other frontline guys must step up and rotate here and sacrifice their bodies.
And that's always been a big part of their defensive plan because Wallace is as good as it gets in terms of help defense. But O'Neal will make him pay as Billups knocks down some free throws.
Now here we see the 2-2-1 again. Now they're matching up. You see, the main thing is will we see them trap out of it as soon as you get over half court?
O'Neal rushed the shot. Look at him go after his rebound.
Quick feet tonight.
Lost it, got it back, lost it again, gets the tip. Wade inside,
there it is.
pass.
Now that's what we just got finished explaining. Ben Wallace went to help that time, and when you leave Shaq, it's over because they can throw the lob or the shuffle pass.
On Game 7 Sunday, the Cavaliers scored only 23 points in the entire half against the Pistons. Look here, the Heat have 24 already, and we still have 3.5 to go in the first. And a whistle and another foul, some more free throws for Detroit.
Now Rip was wide open that time. He had it go into the basket or he had in the corner, Rasheed. Now watch this. Now this is just, he kicks it back out. Now there's Ben Wallace helping. That's great defense. The only problem is you got Shaq moving to the board, and that is a load. Now remember, Ben Wallace is giving away 4 inches to Shaq, but he's giving away 85 pounds.
The foul is called on Udonis Haslem as Hamilton will go to the free throw line. Antoine Walker, I'm not sure what he's arguing with Kenny Mauer, perhaps whether or not he was in the act of shooting. The officiating crew, Kenny Mauer, Bennett Salvatore, and Billy Spooner.
Things are going so good. I just don't see why you want to aggravate the referees. You guys are in a nice role right now. Here's Rip right here. See, they had it both ways. Haslem stepped in. They could have had it there or in the corner. Rasheed Wallace was wide open.
Now, it's easy for us to see on the replay, but it looked like Hamilton was going to dump it into the corner to Rasheed Wallace, but they call it in the act, and Hamilton steps up, knocks it down. Gary Payton in for the first time. Such a different look in the point guards. You go from Jason Williams to Gary Payton.
That's it. Well, you know that Payton is not going to push it with the quickness of a Jason Williams. Single coverage.
O'Neal inside. As strong as Ben Wallace is, there's no way you can stop that.
No, absolutely not. He's staying behind him. He's trying to keep him out. There's no double team, and now you're on your own island. Once Shaq gets close, you know if he spin moves you or he takes one step, it's a dunk, or he can drop step you and lay it up on the other side.
37-year-old Gary Payton commits his first foul. Payton, a former Defensive Player of the Year. Pat Riley was telling us yesterday, the guy's in amazing shape. He's not as quick as he was, maybe lost a half a step. But he's one of the most durable players we've seen over the past decade plus in this league, and he's now a role player and has accepted that well here.
Well, he's functioning now in the last half of the season when he was picking up many minutes due to the fact that Jason Williams missed 23 games. But there was a factor. Detroit 3 games to 1. Billups outscored Jason Williams and Gary Payton 24-13 during those 4 encounters. Now, will we see that same kind of production during this series?
Meanwhile, the Pistons have stepped up 8 for 8 from the free throw line. But it's the Heat shooting from the field that's been the difference. Walker against Prince. Walker taking it to the basket, banks it in. When Walker doesn't settle for threes, he is such a skilled big man. And the lead back up to 10.
Well, you know, the guy has been a 3-time All-Star, Mike, and the fact, you know, when you say this guy's a double-figure scorer, he's been a 20-plus point scorer.
Hamilton gets inside. Nice move.
Nice strong move, Mike. There was a little fumble of the ball there, but Rip was able to get it. He has great hands. And then once he gets in the paint, his elevation, he's 6'6". He gets up high, and if you foul him, he's going to the line where he shoots 85%.
And for such a wiry guy, he's got some real toughness to his game as Pat Riley wants a timeout. Riley has to be thrilled with his team's start, and Shaquille O'Neal as well.
He's giving you a lot of looks today. See, this time, up and under. He gave you an up and under dunk. He's giving us a drop step. He's giving us a spin around off the glass.
John Saunders with your 30 at 30 update. Gary Sheffield was activated off the disabled list and started as the Yankees' designated hitter tonight against the Red Sox. He sprained his left wrist April 29th. Barry Bonds gets another chance to pass Babe Ruth's total of 714 home runs tonight at home against the Cardinals. Bonds tied Ruth on Saturday in Oakland. And the Toronto Raptors won the NBA draft lottery and will have the first pick in the 2006 NBA draft. The next Sports Center after the game and updates anytime on mobile ESPN. Mike.
John, thank you. Heat leading by 8. Shaquille O'Neal getting his first rest. There'll be so much talk this year about how Shaquille O'Neal not putting up the same numbers, but it's not going to happen. But what he's done throughout his career, one of the great careers in the history of this league. Again, conference finals, that means Shaquille O'Neal's still playing.
During the 14 years that he's been in this league, 13 times he's done 20-10, and then 12 straight years he was in the top 10 in 4 categories. No one in the league even close to that kind of production.
Gary Payton knocks down a three-pointer. O'Neal says, I'm slower, but I'm smarter. Mentally, I'm a lot better. And he knows that Dwayne Wade is now the leading scorer. He just wants another ring now, as Alonzo Mourning is checked in for him.
Well, Miami, they're just on a torrid streak. They're 14 for 17, and yet the Pistons are right here.
Prince can't get it, knocks it out of bounds, and last touch by the Miami. This is like the start that the Dallas Mavericks had last night, Game 7.
That's right.
Against San Antonio. As we send it over to Lisa.
Well, Mark, I was at the game on March 22nd when Alonzo Mourning partially tore his right calf. He said it felt like a sniper was in the stands. It stung and hurt really badly. He knew immediately that something was wrong. Right now, he says he doesn't have any pain, and for the first time last week, there's been no swelling every time he practices and he plays. But he says all in all, he's only about 80%. He doesn't have that explosiveness that he had before the injury. Mike?
And before the injury, he was the best backup center in the NBA or starter when O'Neal was out with the ankle injury.
Well, Mike, you give him at that time 20 games he started when Shaq was out. He averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, and then a shade under 4 blocks a game. So he was running at numbers that he did when he was young and healthy.
That technical free throw off the defensive 3-second violation.
You can count on Mourning leaving his man, Ben Wallace, and helping out on any penetration, any driver, or any curlman. You know he's going to be there. So you must take advantage of him when he leaves you to get to the front of the rim.
Wade with the steal. 2-on-1 for the Heat. Wade goes right at Hunter. And Wade doing it at both ends. He made some very big defensive plays in the New Jersey series.
Yes, you can't do that. Anytime that guy is coming in a 2-on-1, force him to give up the ball. Get in front, make the ball change direction. At least you might have a chance for a turnover.
Hunter misses. Payton the rebound. Coming up under a minute now here in the first quarter, and the Heat, an offensive explosion. Wade. That's Walker. Another 3. And Walker way off the mark.
That's his 3rd attempt already, and through the playoffs, he's been averaging 7 3-point attempts per game.
Hunter. One of the key members off the bench for the Pistons flips on to say they'll play more in this series. McDyess fouled on the pass-off. And Heat in the penalties. Some more free throws coming up for Detroit.
Now, Wade that time was in a little bit of a rumble with McDyess. McDyess, anytime that the Pistons are in a flow, they're looking to post him up immediately. And that was a good recognition to get it down inside. Now, he's going to take it in there. Now, that was a little bit of, hey, I did get hit in the chest, but it was a little bit too easy and a flop.
So Wade picks up his first foul, and McDyess will go to the line. Pistons again 9 for 9. That's what's keeping them within distance. Wednesday on TNT, Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Boy, will that be fun. Phoenix playing at Dallas. Dallas for the home court, 8 Eastern. And Thursday on ESPN, Eastern Conference Finals Game 2, back here at the Palace. And then next Monday on ABC, the Eastern Conference Finals Game 4. That one, of course, in Miami. Every other night, the conference finals. It has been just a spectacular playoff ride.
Miami, this is a perfect quarter. Main thing is can they keep up this pace from the offensive end throughout the 48 minutes?
Wade, good defense.
Oh, great double.
And then a foul called. It's going to go against Wade. After the steal, Wade tried to recover, and he picks up his second foul.
Now, one thing that Wade will do is he'll run that reverse move. Now, watch Lindsey Hunter come from the right-hand side. Here he comes. See, what he did was great anticipation that time because they know that he loves the spin move. Well, if you come from that blind side, you got a chance for a deflection.
Wade asking about the call, but he did grab Hunter. He really didn't need to because Hunter was almost on the verge of falling down.
Mike, this first quarter, we have seen a lot of physical contact, but physical contact at both ends. Tonight, this is a game, I hate to say it, it sounds kind of trite, but it's a game for men. This is a physical game here this evening. The referees have set a tone. This is how it's going to be played. Okay, let's make it work. I got to figure it out. I got to adjust.
Your kind of game, Rudy.
Oh, no, this is a great type of game.
And the key for Detroit has been the free throw shooting.
Well, this is great defensive movement.
Walker, the floater, off the mark, and a rare miss by the Miami Heat in the opening quarter. They were sensational on the offensive end. Shoot 75% from the field on the road in the first quarter. Well, they were off for a week, but it certainly didn't affect them from being sharp offensively. One quarter complete, game one. It's the Miami Heat with an 8-point advantage. In London yesterday, the NBA was presented with the Global Business Coalition's prestigious Community Award for the league's advocacy for HIV/AIDS. Elton John was on hand. Of course, this all includes the wonderful Basketball Without Borders program. Dikembe Mutombo, Primo Brezic, and other members of the NBA family were there to accept the award. Since '91, the NBA has worked to combat the epidemic of AIDS by partnering with organizations such as UNICEF and through the Basketball Without Borders program. Another wonderful example of what the league has done in the community, also the global community. As we start the second quarter, Pistons see Miami throw 33 points up on the board, an unusual number for the defensive-minded Detroit Pistons. Hamilton, rebound, McDyess, and a whistle. Discussing whether or not it hit the shot clock. It did not reset. Bennett Salvatore talking and said it should have reset. So now they put it back up to 24.
The Pistons are only down 8 points, and you feel, why are they still in this game? They're 13 for 13 on the foul line, and they only have 1 turnover. And also, outside of Rip Hamilton, they do not have another player with more than 1 field goal.
They actually reset it to 22 because a couple of seconds had gone off after the initial rebound. Hamilton looking for an opening, trying to draw a foul. Rasheed Wallace for 3. And James Posey, the rebound. Boy, the Heat was starting. They've taken the crowd right out of it.
Well, the Heat are doing an excellent job, Mike, on the perimeter players, setting up for jump shots as the shot clock is going down. So the percentages aren't there.
Good defense from Wallace to deflect it.
4 on 2. 4 on 2 now. You got to get a layup.
Mo Evans inside. Good, strong finish. Mo Evans part of that Piston bench. He's out there with McDyess and Lindsey Hunter. And despite the great shooting for the Heat, they're only up by 6.
That's right. See, once again, on the break, you love to see people be unselfish and then understand, do not settle for a jump shot. Take it to the rim and take it strong.
O'Neal calling for it. Rasheed Wallace on him now.
Yeah, you got to go through the man. The man is hot.
And O'Neal hammered. When Rasheed Wallace is guarding, they're going to send more of a help defender than with Ben Wallace, certainly.
Well, naturally, when you get in a situation like that, you're going to foul him and put him on the line. Now, Rasheed Wallace must be careful because he does not want to take himself out of the game. See, Shaq has been giving us a lot of moves here tonight. He's run that drop step now. That's the 3rd time, and he's either scored or been fouled.
Once O'Neal has really struggled from the free throw line in the playoffs. He's had to adjust his game a little bit. There's, in the early round, so much talk about the offensive fouls that have been called against him. He's had a number of charges that he thinks they're officiating him a bit differently, but he's made some adjustments to that to avoid those offensive fouls.
Absolutely, and that's why we're seeing him give you more than one look. You know, look, Shaq is an intelligent guy. You know, if you're going to take away one part of his game, he's going to give you something else to think about. But we know that he has struggled through the season, and then in the playoffs on the line. But if he can go to the line and keep making 1 out of 2, I think they'll be happy.
That 2 that he missed was bang. It's off the glass and airballed into the rim, so a violation.
It's only still 1 miss, right?
Right, that's right.
That's the positive side how to look at it.
He only has 1 foul. He said one of the keys to his life is staying out of foul trouble. 7-point Miami lead, early second quarter. McDyess left open, and Antonio McDyess knocks it down. He was so upset, Antonio McDyess, after Game 5 that they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He sat on the bench for a while and then went right to his car and went home. He never went to the locker room. He's been that intense during the course of these playoffs. He's not part of the team that won the championship a couple of years ago. He wants his ring. O'Neal, feet inside, knocked away, and there's McDyess.
When Shaq's that close, he's got to muscle it up. You know, don't try to overpass and try to make a difficult pass.
Hunter gets inside. Oh, nice move from Hunter.
Great move by Lindsey Hunter. Once he has come into this game, he's given him a defensive toughness. There have been 3 deflections and a steal.
Williams, and that's a 2-pointer for Jason Williams. Lead back up to 5. He's still shooting 76%. Phillips knocks down the 3.
Well, this is what you've been waiting for. You know that Phillips is one of the best that we have in the league, always in the top 10 in three-point percentage. And they're putting Shaq in these screens up high. And then what's happening is it's opening up for them in the corner or for the guard if they misread it.
Payton, Haslam, shot clock winding down. Haslam comes up short. Here come the Pistons.
Well, they'll put the pressure on you with Lindsey Hunter. He's constantly looking to penetrate.
Gets to McDyess. Nice fake from McDyess, and he's tripped up. As McDyess goes sprawling down.
2 guys playing with a lot of confidence, and that is McDyess and Hunter. They're coming in, they're making things happen, and when both guys have the ball, they are going to the rim.
Lindsey Hunter, beautiful drive. Chauncey Billups getting it going as well. Shaquille O'Neal's picked up his 2nd foul, and his crowd back in the game.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by the new thriller, Waist Deep, in theaters everywhere June 23rd.
Miami Heat up by as many as 12. I've seen their lead cut to 2. Just over 3 minutes gone by in the second. Our Coors Light freeze cam all about defending Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, it's such a difficult time, especially because he's off to such a great start. Now, once this ball goes in, you're going to see they're going to come down. Lindsey Hunter is terrific at doubling. Now, Shaq should not overpass. What he should do in that situation, he's got a great jump hook. Just take it right up and shoot over the top of the second unit people.
O'Neal picking up, though, his 2nd foul. He's got 9 points already. But how do you like to beat Miami? You shoot 73% from the field, and your lead is only 2.
Well, you look at it right now, Mike, and you say, well, what's happened? Well, in the last 4 minutes, they only have 1 field goal, mainly because they have 3 turnovers. And then the defensive play and then the quick scoring of the second unit group for the Pistons has been excellent.
Lindsey Hunter, as he did in Game 7, providing another spark for this team. Billups leans in, and O'Neal the rebound. O'Neal and Wade both with 2 fouls. Wade has returned.
Well, in that situation, Mike, you know, Shaq has been stepping out real big and trying to help out. But down inside from the foul line down, he lays off. So when you come off, you're open. You got a good angle to shoot the ball.
Wade, quick move, lost it out of bounds. And for Miami, that's their 5th turnover.
When that second group of guys came in, there was a lot of movement. The movement for the Pistons was excellent. Forcing, see, there's Shaq showing again. Well, when he shows that high, McDyess is open in that left-hand corner.
Hunter way off the mark, and Payton the board. Gary Payton has said if they win the title, he's thinking about retiring. Nice entry pass, but a foul on McDyess. As Antonio McDyess will pick up his first.
Shaq is so big and so strong, so wide. You know, you're talking 325 on a good day. And there you can see, now watch him gamble. See, now once he gambles, once he puts out his arm, you know, he's like a big bear. He puts the arm out, you grab onto the arm, they catch you for a grab.
Wade, contact, they call it on Hunter. Now, Wade did push off a little bit, but it appeared Hunter bumped him before the push-off.
Mike, that's what I love about you. You have that referee's eye. There it is right there. See, now you say, well, that forearm went out. Lindsey Hunter is saying he cut off my angle. I'm quick, and I have quick feet. I can beat you to the spot. From that angle right there, I don't know. I would say that Hunter didn't get there on that one.
Yeah. Offensive foul comes right back, and that's 3 fouls on Dwayne Wade.
That was a great move by Lindsey Hunter.
Lindsey Hunter, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league.
Absolutely. And he's been showing it right through that Cleveland series and again tonight. See, he's not afraid to get up into you like he did with LeBron James. He's not afraid of the physical contact. He's giving you size, but he's showing you what good, quick feet can do, and then you've got to be ready to take the brunt of the attack in the chest.
Hunter, who missed the first 46 games after having ankle surgery, he went to Flip Saunders during the year and he said, give the bench more minutes, will help you win some games. He has certainly done that in the postseason.
See, that's open. That's open every time. McDyess does not have to rush that shot. He's wide open. Just take your time.
Ray Karam went off James Posey's head. Wade most likely will sit for the rest of the half with the 3 fouls.
Right, they cannot take a chance. They cannot take an opportunity. What they have to hope for now is this group can match them point-wise from now to the end.
Hunter again, tough shot. And Posey the rebound.
Now you got to get out now. Get back to your game, how you started. Quick, fast breaks, getting up, penetrating, and going in right there.
And O'Neal fouled again on the entry pass. Rasheed Wallace picks up his second foul. Pistons not in the penalty yet.
Mike, in a situation of transition, when Shaq runs down and posts up on the defensive circle, you cannot play behind him. You play behind him, he's going to make the catch. You're either going to foul him or you're going to give him a dunk. Now you say, well, what happens if I front him? If I front him, well, then they'll throw the lob. Yeah, but then if you jam the passer and front him, you have a chance.
Rasheed Wallace disgustedly walks off after picking up his second, so Ben Wallace back in. O'Neal.
That is a good
quick move. Oh, Wallace with the block, but a foul. Boy, Shaquille O'Neal showing a little quickness there.
Oh, yes, he is. But how about the multiple moves here tonight? He's giving, see, that just happened quick. He has not, that's the first time that he spun quickly to the baseline. He's giving you now 5 different moves here tonight. Now, that was very well done. Naturally, Ben hit him right there. Now it's up to Shaq to make his fouls tonight.
No question on that foul. Well, O'Neal off to a good start from the line.
Well, during the season, he shot at 47%. Now, in the playoffs, we know that he has struggled, and during, the 11 games, that playoff time, he's only shooting at 40%.
First one's good, second one's a brick, just like last time. As the Heat lead is 3, we played almost 5 minutes here in the second. The Heat got off to the big start, and they needed it because Dwayne Wade has 3 fouls and is on the bench.
They're in a little zone here now, 2-3 zone.
Phillips kicks it out. Prince spots up for 3. Peyton and Jason Williams both in the 2-point guards at the same time with Wade out of the game.
Yeah, they've been doing that a lot during the season, mainly because Peyton at 6'4" can play any of the taller shooting guards.
Shaquille O'Neal, here's a double. Peyton left open for 3. And Wallace the rebound. Hamilton wants the ball against Williams. Phillips, tough shot.
But he's excellent with his back to the basket. You can run Chauncey on a screen high down in there. You can run him on baseline action. The main thing is Chauncey is excellent with his back to the basket. He can take you down in there. He can finish in your face, give you the jump hook.
He's got 11 points to lead the Pistons. They were down 12 early, but coming back nicely just past the midway point, second quarter. Game 1, these 2 rivals in the Eastern Conference Finals. Right now, the Heat with a 1-point lead. Chauncey Billups and the Pistons now down by just one midway through the second. Billups, of course, wasn't an easy road. The third overall pick back in '97. But he bounced around the NBA 5 teams in his first 4 years after Boston drafted him. Went up to Toronto. And many were surprised that he was a number 3 pick. And he didn't play like that one early in his career as he bounced around and couldn't find a home. Then in Minnesota, he played for a guy named Flip Saunders, and his career started to turn around. And since he's come to Detroit, he's become one of the best two-way players in the NBA. And UB, what a great year for a guy who has worked hard to get where he's been. 5th in the MVP voting, All-NBA second team, first time ever for him there, and for the second consecutive year on the All-Defensive team.
Mike, it's all through hard work. Plus, he understands he's an extremely mature young man. He knew that he had to change his game. And you could see the point difference, and now getting in the right system. And this is the perfect system for him. He led the league in assists to turnovers, 4 assists for every turnover. That's sensational.
They call him the mayor. He's played on so many teams. He has so many friends around the league. What a great player he's become. Payton, this is the layup, point-blank range. However, McDyess can't control the rebound, and the Heat get a new 24.
Now, in the last 7 minutes, Miami with only 1 field goal and 4 points.
They have that great start. But certainly with Wade out, they're not going to be as explosive offensively. Wade had 13 points in 13 minutes. He was 6 for 6 from the field when he picked up his 3rd foul.
Well, we said at the top, Wade and Shaq are going to get their points. And now players 3 through 8 must step up in this series if Miami is going to compete and win out in a 7-game series.
Well, O'Neal has 12. He's 5 of 6 from the field. So the 2 big guns have certainly done it for the Heat. Prince. Walker trying to defend him. Prince, tough shot again. Rebound, Payton. And Payton has certainly helped off the bench. He's got 3 boards and has hit a 3. Haslam way short. O'Neal, offensive foul as he mowed down Ben Wallace. Pat Riley very upset with the call. I think he wonders that O'Neal didn't have room to move. Let's see.
Well, you're going to see right here. It's right there. Now, Ben Wallace is he caught him with the elbow. He definitely caught him with the elbow, right in the face. So the referee was right on that, had an excellent angle, Mike.
And he did have time to come down and turn. There was plenty of room for him to come down and turn. You're wondering why Wallace was in that restricted area and still. First off, he was his primary defender, and also it started down low, so it negates that restricted area.
It's always easier when you have the replay.
Oh, it sure is. Hamilton well short. Good defense from Payton.
Now, Payton was on him. They run that baseline screen. Sometimes it's a double, sometimes it's a single. But they've got to get Rip Hamilton going here. He started off strong.
Jason Williams can't connect, and then Wallace tips it to his teammate.
When you play Miami, you must continue to push the break as much as possible. Wear them down over the 48-minute period because they cannot defend you off the dribble.
There's the beauty of the Pistons offense. So unselfish as Billups sets up McDyess beautifully, and they have to call timeout because of the excellent ball denial.
Well, the ball denial, but most important, you never take the ball out underneath the backboard. You take the ball out underneath the backboard, you cannot make any kind of a lob pass. Haslam, that's a cardinal sin right there.
The Detroit Pistons on the comeback trail. Miami still with a 1-point lead. ESPN2 has WNBA action later tonight at 11 Eastern. Sue Bird, Lauren Jackson, and the Seattle Storm host the Houston Comets and 3-time MVP Cheryl Swoops. And Cheryl Ford sitting in the middle of those ladies there. Looks just like her dad, Karl Malone. Of course, much prettier than her dad.
And she's an all-star player along with it, right?
She can play.
Yes, she can.
As we said earlier, Shaquille O'Neal passing her father for 3rd on the all-time playoff scoring list with one of his early buckets. He could probably still play today. He's probably still in great shape. Mourning making his move. Nice move from Alonzo Mourning.
Now, Alonzo always had that little baby hook. He steps in strong and goes up. Now, they'll play him man to man. so that they will hug the three-point shooters and hope to discourage anything from out wide.
Phillips sets himself up nicely. Can't hit the three.
Want to emphasize now, if you notice, very little second shot attempts at both ends here. Two excellent defensive rebounding teams, but Miami #1 in the league.
Williams. Payton on the drive. Gary Payton, pretty play.
Well, he's been going to the basket hard in the playoffs, and you like that. When the guy comes off the bench, you want to take guys, especially because they do not want to pick up another foul in that situation. Take them strong to the rim.
With Wade and O'Neal on the bench, the Heat trying to increase the lead. Hamilton, offensive foul. Udonis Haslem, one of the best in the league at drawing charges, as Hamilton pick up his second.
Now he's off to a good start. In that first quarter, in the first 6 minutes, he had 5 defensive rebounds. Now you're going to see him. He's way above the defensive circle. And then once again, we know that when Rip comes off there, usually he will put on the brake, stop on a dime, and give you that little 8 to 12-foot jump shot.
Derek Anderson, who they picked up midseason from Houston, is into the game for the first time for the Heat. Walker against Prince, and Prince put his hands on him. So Tayshaun Prince will pick up his first foul, and the Pistons in the penalty.
Mike, that baseline cutter has been open. Throw the ball in the post, cut on that left side. He's been open. Once you got to give it to him once in a while to keep the defense honest.
Thomas Hearns, always impeccably dressed, the hit man, in his usual seat, and former Piston great Dave Bing in attendance. Speaking of former Pistons, Bill Lambier enjoying the sights here at the Palace as the Pistons trailing by 5. Flip Saunders in his first year. When he was fired last year in Minnesota, one of the things he enjoyed was that he got a chance to see his son Ryan play at the University of Minnesota. He's a basketball player. Well, Ryan just had surgery on his shoulder today, and Flip wanted to make sure he passed along a little shout out to his son Ryan, say, I'm thinking about you, hope you're feeling better. Now, Flip didn't agree to this, but we're going to give Ryan a reprieve for a week. He doesn't have to take out the garbage for a week since his shoulder surgery. But Saunders, meanwhile, it's been a terrific year for him. The team certainly improved. He took over a good team and made them better. But, Ubi, there's a lot of pressure because anything shy of a championship for this team would be a disappointment.
Absolutely. It's very difficult to take over this type of a team because the only thing that matters is the ring. But he improved his team with 10 wins. He improved them to #1 in the league in fewest turnovers. They moved up to second in assists at 24 a game, and then they became one of the top 3 three-point shooting teams, all because of the offensive flow that he came with. He is an excellent offensive coach.
This last year getting fired by Minnesota wasn't easy, but here he is coaching the best team in the NBA, certainly during the regular season. Ball deflected and a turnover.
Got to get Miami now back to your game. You got to get back to what you were doing early. We know Shaq was a major part, and also Wade. So now this unit, how are you going to come out of this? Are you going to work through Mourning down inside and work on a kick-out game? Main thing is get to the basket.
Payton, tough play for Payton. Gary Payton, of course, long-time Seattle Supersonic, bouncing around the NBA last couple of years. He wants his ring. One of the reasons he came to Miami, he wanted to play with Shaquille O'Neal again, like they did in LA with the Lakers.
Well, they've weathered the storm by Detroit. Now, we've seen this game. It's playing in peaks and valleys. First, Miami got off hot, bit a big streak. Then the Pistons came back, dominated the game for 7 minutes. Now we have the Heat. Even with Shaq and Wade on the bench, they've regrouped now, and they're putting some numbers on the board.
So another defensive 3 seconds, so a technical foul as we go to Jim Gray.
Hey, Mike, with this 7-point lead, I spoke to Rip Hamilton before the game. He said Miami's a very dangerous team for us tonight and in this series because they felt the sting the entire year of us beating them in that Game 7 last year. We felt it against San Antonio, so I know exactly how they feel. We saw San Antonio go out last night. That didn't make us feel any better because we didn't eliminate them. The Pistons know that Miami has a chance to eliminate us, and he says, Rip Hamilton says that's a driving thing because it drove us all year with San Antonio.
Well, the Heat players have said that. Dwayne Wade have thought about it all year.
Haslam is having a great half on the defensive boards and also defensively.
Payton's not having a bad half either. 9 points for Payton to go along with 3 rebounds. Off the bench, he's 4 of 6 from the field.
Well, he's come in looking for a shot, and that's what you see this year out of his game. It's not so much as the creator and the guy who's getting a lot of assists. It's him shooting a high percentage and coming off and scoring points.
Phillips, there's the good ball movement. Hamilton for 3. Number 1 in the NBA in that department this year. He had been a poor three-point shooter throughout his career. Said he was tired of hearing it. Worked all summer on it. And he's become a terrific three-point shooter.
Well, you shoot 40%. You're right, one of the top guys in the league. Well, he shot it at 46% this year.
Shot clock winding down. Haslam's been short, this time way long. Haslam terrific rebounding, but hasn't been able to put it in.
Yeah, he's out of character offensively tonight because that's usually automatic for him. He knocks down those 15, 18-foot shots.
And a foul as Phillips got bumped for the Heat not in the penalty. Reminder coming up at halftime, the Toyota halftime show. John Saunders, Scottie Pippen, Tim Legler, and Stephen A. Smith will be back at the studio. First half analysis, plus the Raptors win the draft lottery. And an interview with Avery Johnson, who is in the conference finals with the Dallas Mavericks. What an amazing job he has done with that team.
Well, 6 guys there in a year missed over 20 games. They never had their 10-round rotation intact. And then once Van Horn came back, you saw the results in that San Antonio series.
There's a layup line for Tayshaun Prince.
Well, that's very few uncontested drives here in the second quarter. Now, we know that the Pistons shot 13 foul shots in that first quarter, and then in the second quarter, let's face it, it's been difficult to get to the line.
Mourning wants the ball.
I don't know why you don't go into the guy.
Anderson trying to draw a foul. Mourning was open. It's a 24-second violation. Mourning's upset. He was open.
Well, he should be upset. Mainly because the one catch that he had, he scored. Now, you cannot let the clock run down. He had his man on his back. Throw the ball into the guy and let him work.
So, with 4 seconds remaining, Pistons will go the length of the floor as we end the first half. Dale Davis making a brief appearance.
One thing you do not want to have happen here is that they hit a guy going up the floor.
Phillips fires along with it. Back of the rim. Good attempt for Chauncey Billups. And that will end the first half. One that started with Dwayne Wade and the Heat on fire. Wade had 13 points in 13 minutes. But he picked up 3 fouls and sat out much of the second quarter as we send it over to Lisa Salters.
Thanks, Mike. GP, you guys got up to a fast start, a quick 12-point lead. Then they came back about a minute or so ago. You had an 8-point lead, and now we see it's a 4-point game again. What's happening?
Well, I mean, it's going back. They're going to make runs. They're at home. So what we got to do is just got to keep strong. We got our 2 best players on the bench right now. We just, our second unit, just got to keep it strong and hope that when they get back, we can make another run.
You make a good point. Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade spending a lot of time on the bench. How successful can you guys be with those guys sitting?
I think if we take our time and be patient, we can run whatever we want to run. Then we play good defense and rebound the ball, we'll be fine.
All right, thanks a lot. Good luck. Mike?
All right, Lisa, again, coming up at halftime, we'll have the Toyota halftime show. They'll have an analysis of the first half. Brian Colangelo's luck with Toronto, pretty good to start.
I would say so. I would say so.
Raptors win the draft lottery, and again, an interview with Dallas head coach Avery Johnson. So the Miami Heat trying to get a road win here in Game 1. They shoot 64% from the field on the road in the first half, but they turn it over 9 times and overcome some foul trouble to their star player, Dwayne Wade. Halftime at the Palace. It's the Heat with a 4-point lead over the defending Eastern Conference champs.
Now it's time for the McDonald's I'm Lovin' It highlights. was today's McDonald's Unlimited Highlights.
2 quarters in the books through game 1 of these Eastern Conference Finals, and the Miami Heat had led the entire way, up by as many as 12. It's now a 4-point advantage here at halftime. Hi again, everyone, with UB Brown, Mike Breen on hand. And you look at the way the Heat started this game, you could tell they hadn't played for a week. They couldn't wait to get out on the floor and play.
Well, they sudden surge. They're out real big, 14 points, but then you know the Pistons would come back. Now, the only thing holding Miami back right now are the 8 turnovers. They're on fire shooting, but then they got great help from the bench.
Because they had to overcome some foul problems, and that's part of our Gatorade cooler talk.
You're going to see it right here. That's the 3rd foul on Wade. Now watch Shaq. Boom. That's his 3rd foul. Now Wade only gave 13 minutes in that first half. So now the bench must step up. Alonzo comes in, gets you a quick hook. And then Gary Payton, he came off the bench, looked for the shots, came in with 9 points, made a lot of things happen. And then you give the Miami a lot of credit. They took care of their defensive board. The Pistons with only 2 offensive rebounds. Now you look at Shaq and Wade, you know they're going to get points in this series. There's no doubt about it. It comes down to the rest of the players, 3-2-8. They must contribute.
They did in the first half as we go to Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, I asked Heat assistant Bob McAdoo, I said, you're beating them in the paint, you're beating them on the boards, you're shooting almost 64% from the field. How are you only up by 4 points? And he circled 2 numbers, number 3s in the foul column next to Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade's name. He said, we've got to have our superstars on the floor. He said, other than that, we just had a bad second quarter. They had 20 field goal attempts. We had 13. We got passive. We let them back in it. But most importantly, we got to have D. Wade and Shaq on the floor. Now, with more on the Pistons, I'd send it over to Jim Gray.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. I spoke to Flip Saunders on his way out. He said, hey, we were sluggish in the first half. He said, emotionally, we are a tired team. He said, Lindsey Hunter did come in, pick us up a little bit. We're going to have to feed off that energy. We've got to get the crowd back into this game. He also went on to say that, hey, defensively, we are going to go after Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade, try and keep them in foul trouble. Offensively, we need to make more than one pass and settle for those long jumpers. Mike?
All right, Jim. And when you play in a 7-game series in the previous round, then have to start all over again, you got to work your way up, already a turnover.
Absolutely. The key thing here is that when that happens, you only have 1 day to prepare. Your guys have got to come off the high of moving into the next round. But the big thing today is can they continue to force Miami into the turnovers? Because the 8 turnovers is what's been helping them.
Wade just superb. 7 for 7 from the field. They can't stop him when he's on the floor. He's playing with the 3 fouls as we begin this 3rd quarter.
Mike, the frightening thing is how easy, because he's doing it all off the dribble.
Rasheed Wallace misses, and Rasheed Wallace still has not scored. He's 0 for 3. They need him to get involved.
Well, 2 guys have to step up, and that's Prince and Rasheed Wallace.
Jason Williams talking about making it look easy. Easily beats Billups off the dribble that time.
And see, if you're a coach right now and you're Flip Saunders and his staff, you're upset because not only is the guy blowing by my point guard defensively, but also where is the rotation? We do not see a white shirt even challenging the layups.
Just like the start of the first quarter, as Tayshaun Prince does not connect.
Well, you're exactly right, Mike. They're getting good looks just like they did in the first quarter, but they started out ice cold.
O'Neal. They say off the foot of Ben Wallace. Wallace trying to appeal to one of the other officials. Flip Saunders says, wait a minute, you guys should check. O'Neal didn't handle a pass, it fell down, but they say it touched Ben Wallace's foot. O'Neal started to walk the other way, actually.
Yes, he did.
Wade splits the defense, nearly stolen. Fight for it. Trying to call time, and he gets it. And he called timeout with 5 left, and he took a shot. You'd be in cases like this early in the 3rd. Now they're going to use their 20. As a coach, do you want him to call a timeout there?
Yeah, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. He wanted to save it. He did not want to jump ball.
Back of the Palace, where the Pistons shooting just 36% from the field.
Well, you can see 3 key scores for you right there. during the 4-game series where you won 3 games to 1, they contributed 2/3 of the points, 63 of the 95 points. In this first half, they are 5 for 18. They just have to get on track, and naturally, Rasheed Wallace is a guy that they need to score points.
Wade has to put it up with the shot clock winding down. That's his first miss of the game. And the Heat shooting 64% from the field. Prince falls and then throws it away.
Good trap, good steal.
Nice pass, Jason Williams. Wade's foul. Nope, they're going to call a travel.
Yep.
Took the extra step.
Yep, and also I thought that he lost his balance there. But I like the trap. I like the fact that they attacked Prince quickly, get the ball up the floor. You're going to see right here. See, he lost control. You can see he gave a little slip there.
No question about the travel. For Miami, that's their 10th turnover. That's hurt them offensively. They've shot well.
See, they're not going to play Ben Wallace out there.
Nice backdoor. Billups shields his body from the ball.
Yeah, now Shaq is laying way off Ben Wallace anytime that he handles at the top of the circle or foul line to the top of the circle. He needs to be the guy that's going to come down, and if somebody breaks on a backdoor like that last play, he's got to come to challenge the shot.
O'Neal with the 3 fouls, makes the moves, doesn't finish that time.
Now the Pistons need some easy points, Mike. Everything is coming out of half-court sets. You're not getting any second shot baskets. The threes have been limited. You only have 2 3-point shot makes.
Billups posting up. O'Neal, good help defense, but Wallace right there on the follow.
Now that's good. Anytime that Shaq leaves you to help out, Ben's got to get to the offensive glass.
Wallace with just the 4 points, but 7 rebounds and a terrific defense. Once again, Defensive Player of the Year, 4th time in 5 years getting that award. Haslam. O'Neal. And Wallace took a shot, took an elbow in the face.
Yeah, he sure did. But that was a tough one for Shaq to miss because it was wide open.
Rasheed Wallace with his first field goal. And boy, the Pistons needed that.
Yeah, maybe they'll get him off the schneid here and get him going.
Lead cut to 1. Ben Wallace irate. He felt there should have been an offensive foul on O'Neal, who turned and inadvertently hit him with an elbow. O'Neal misses the easy one, knocked out of his hands, gets it back, blocked by Wallace, and they call a goaltend because it hit the backboard.
That's right. That's what he's claiming. Kenny Maurer is saying that the ball hit the board.
Pretty amazing O'Neal was able to have it hit the board.
2 possessions here now that Shaq had 2 easy shots, for Shaq. He definitely hit the board. He took it off.
Now Wallace should have let it go because it had no chance of going in.
Absolutely. That ball was going to hit below the rim. But who's to say that it would not have gone up and in?
We've seen some funny bounces during these playoffs. But once it hits the backboard, it's a goaltend if you hit it, even if it's on the way up.
Yeah, see, they're going to milk this. This is a tough cover for Jason Williams.
Wallace tips it away from O'Neal. Prince, that's a 3. And the Detroit Pistons have come right back once again. They've tied it up.
Chauncey Billups is very upset. He's thinking that he got fouled on that move down inside. But I like that play if I'm a Piston fan. Billups can post up Jason Williams, force the double team, or he can take him and get a high percentage shot.
O'Neal. Wade also with the 3 fouls. Now 4 offensive foul. Ben Wallace draws the charge, and Dwayne Wade making a mistake that time, and that's his 4th personal.
From that angle, see, Ben Wallace can get there in time. See, he can get there, and even though Shaq moves to the rim, it's easier for the power forward, Rasheed Wallace, to come over and pick up Shaq.
So Wade, who has been unstoppable offensively, but he can't stay on the floor.
No, they can't. They can't take that chance.
Gary Payton will come in for him. And Wade is going to sit down. He saw the 15 points in 18 minutes. How long does he sit in this instant?
Well, it comes down to how the game is going. Right now, the game is tied, so naturally it depends upon you. All coaches are different. Some guys will say, I'm going to sit him out all the way to the beginning of the 4th quarter. But if this game starts to get away from him, it's a road game, and they'll put him back in the game. Why save him?
Billups.
Nice
move. Chauncey Billups, pretty play, and the Detroit Pistons with their first lead of the game.
Yeah, Pat Riley, he wants a timeout right now. They see they're exploiting a definite weakness. They know that Jason Williams will have difficulty handling Billups off the dribble. Second place, if he backs him down with his back to the basket, it will force a double team. So right now, give Detroit a lot of credit. They're going to what can happen for them to give them high percentage shots.
Chauncey Billups with 16 points to lead the Pistons, who are on a 12-2 run.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by Chevrolet, America's brand, Chevy, an American Revolution, and NikeBasketball.com.
Pistons with their first lead by 2. Ben Wallace's defense has been terrific. He takes such pride in being able to guard Shaquille O'Neal one-on-one.
I mean, you know you're going to get hit, you're going to get beat up, you're going to have some bumps and bruises, you know, you're going to be hurting out there, but, you know, I think for the sake of your team and the guys out there playing with you, who's riding with you, you just can't show it. I mean, if you're hurt, you know, bust your mouth, you know, go to the sideline and, you know, get your cup, rinse your mouth out, you know, come back on the floor, man. I think I owe it to my teammates to be out there, you know, and let them know that, you know, I'm in this fight 100%, you know, regardless of how I go down. All I care about the end result.
There's a definition of toughness right there as he took some shots. Let's go over to Jim Gray.
Well, Mikey talked about rinsing his mouth out, this time almost like a dentist because his 2 front teeth are loose after going down from that last shot from Shaq. Team doctor came over, asked him if he was all right. He said, yeah, they're not going to fall out. I'll stay in the game.
Stays in the game and forces another turnover. Wallace with the power, but also the quickness. That's what makes him such a terrific defender.
Mike, he's in the top 10 in steals, never mind in deflections. The guy has quick feet and excellent anticipation.
Billups can't hit. Walker the rebound. Now, the Heat with Wade obviously going to sit for a long time with these 4 fouls. They need someone to come up offensively to help them get some scoring.
Oh, you got to go through Shaq. Now, the third guy can either be Jason Williams or Antoine Walker right there. They're the 2 guys that got to help you out.
Haslam now 0 for 6 from the field.
That's why we said early, and we keep repeating it through this thing. Players 3 through 8 from the Heat have got to step up in this series because Shaq and Wade, they'll get theirs, and then also they're going to be double and triple team. That's where the pressure is.
Billups looks up at the shot clock. Wallace comes in, kicks it back out.
Great play.
A typical Ben Wallace play. Hamilton rejected by O'Neal.
Big fella's coming right back at you. But Ben Wallace is everywhere right now.
It's amazing. One of the very few players he can dominate a game without scoring a point.
Well, what I like, Mike, is the fact that Shaq is the #1 pick in the '92 draft. And then you look at Ben Wallace and people expect him to stop him. The guy was undrafted. You say, you know, 5 first-team all-defenses and 4 defensive player of the year. But still in all, he's still giving away 85 pounds.
Undrafted out of the Division II school. We've seen so many good undrafted players perform in these playoffs, like Raja Bell. It's such great stories for the NBA. These guys have overcome some difficult times in making it to the league. Haslam, one of those undrafted players, but he can't get it to fall.
Yeah, it's just a tough night for him. I'm pretty sure he's 0 for 7 right now. That's the way to go to the basket.
Late whistle, but a foul. Prince, plenty of contact. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Early, you know, Mike, the old story, in that first quarter, the Pistons got to the line 13 times, but only 1 in the second quarter. They got to get back to penetrating and not settling for the jumper.
Haslam picks up his 3rd. And Prince will shoot. Prince knocks down the first. Detroit by 3. Wednesday on TNT, they'll start the Western Conference Finals from Dallas as the Mavericks host the Phoenix Suns. Coverage at 8 Eastern on TNT. Then Thursday on ESPN, we'll have Game 2 of this series back at the Palace, 7:30 Eastern Time coverage. And then next Monday on ABC, Eastern Conference Finals Game 4. That one down in Miami. 4-point lead for the Pistons. They were down by 12 early in the game, down by 8 early in this period. As the Heat right now struggling offensively, 1 for their last 8. Walker, and he draws the foul.
Well, he's such a handful. 5 times during his career he scored over 20 points, and you know that he can hit the three, yes, but we also know that he's excellent off the dribble, especially down in the box area where he's great on spin moves.
Walker, as you mentioned earlier, with the 3-time All-Star, of course, with the Boston Celtics, now in his first year here in Miami, and it has been an up-and-down season. You see the numbers. The guy playing a lot less minutes, not having the ball in his hand as much as he's had over the years, and he's accepted his role. He's been inconsistent, starting to play better now, but Pat Riley said, hey, now is the time. He needs to shut people up right now. He's got an opportunity to prove to people that he's a winner.
Right.
And Walker, the free throw. 3-point advantage for the Pistons, who last year in this series, they won game 1 on the road. And again, finished it up in 7 games. Rasheed Wallace.
Now that was pretty. That was a fake screen. We call that slipping the screen. You come over, and just before you're going to stop, you just slip it and just roll. Beautiful recognition.
Payton gets in, and Payton dumps in another one. Gary Payton's offense has been huge. He's got 11 points.
Well, I think the big thing which has been so surprising is how easily he is going by his defender. He's getting down inside of 10 feet every single time he wants to make the move. I'd like to see Rip Hamilton get back to the curls. They've run very few curls for him tonight.
Wallace.
They'll give him that fadeaway, Mike, until he gets hot. And that way they keep him off the offensive board. If he'll go down inside, he's got a height advantage, and also he could, really do some damage.
O'Neal had 2 chances, couldn't get it to fall.
The opportunities are there for shots, Mike. That's the 3rd time in this half that he's been down inside and he's not been able to complete the play.
He's going to get a rest soon. Morning comes off the bench, ready to check in. Phillips, little fancy shake and bake, deflected by Jason Williams.
Yeah, that was
good. They'll still have the ball with 6 on the shot clock.
Hey, Gary Payton did a nice job. A beautiful defensive series there by Payton. And then Jason Williams, you're right, Mike. He came down in and played that passing lane perfectly.
Morning comes in, and O'Neal sits down. 6 on the 24. Hamilton, quick jumper. The Heat shooting down to 54%. It was scorching to start this game. Went up by 12 early on. Walker steps back. That's a 3 and a big bucket for the Miami Heat.
Now that's his shot. Now he's already attempted 4 in this game, and we told you throughout the entire playoffs he attempts 7 a game. That's where he puts the pressure on his defender, a power forward right now with this group that's out there, because Posey's playing the small forward position.
Phillips blocked. Morning got a piece of it.
What a block.
Walker, Posey's been good from 3. Knocks down 1. And the Heat back up by 3. And Flip Saunders wants a timeout.
Good timeout. Posey, dynamite, high percentage shooter, over 40, 2 years in a row now.
8 straight points from the Heat. Both teams bouncing back. And with just over 2 minutes remaining in the third, the road team back on top. A little over 2 minutes remaining. Third quarter of game 1 from the Palace. Heat have regained the lead. Our Chevrolet game track for tonight. Again, Miami with the early start, scoring down low.
Well, the power game was great, plus Wade off the dribble getting to the rim. So that they started out big, and they also started out in the third quarter, but then the offensive fouls. We know that Wade, in 4 of the fouls, 3 of them are at the offensive end. Now at this end, Phillips is going. You're saying, well, he's got 16 points, but he's only 5 for 16 from the floor. He's getting a ton of looks. It comes down to now, from now to the end, people shooting a high percentage.
And Wade again can sit longer with the 4 fouls with his team now back up by 3. Phillips is going to sit for a little bit.
Now, if you are Flip Saunders, you realize that Tayshaun Prince and Rasheed Wallace are 5 for 16. They're struggling. Then Chauncey Billups is 5 for 16. So you're not getting any great shooting. You're shooting 37%. That's got to pick up for you if you are going to, weather the storm here.
But the key is they haven't missed a free throw. Perfect 16 for 16. Hamilton can't connect. And Mourning with a primal screen. He grabs the rebound.
Mike, it's at both ends. Both teams only have 5 offensive rebounds. So you know that people are taking care of business here on the defensive glass.
Williams, tough pass, and he got fouled. You like to say through the keyhole. There wasn't a lot of room for that pass to make it.
Mike, that was a beautiful play. As Antoine Walker gave it, he went right to the top of the circle, and then he back cut right to the rim. Now, that was a dangerous pass, but a good pass. Now, just watch to the top of your screen. See, they catch Ben Wallace turning his head, and then boom, the explosion right to the rim.
Walker, one of the new players on this Miami Heat team. Of course, last year they made it to Game 7. Pat Riley then made the major changes, even though they were so close to making it to the NBA Finals. Riley saying that he felt that team just wasn't good enough to win a championship, but he put a lot of pressure on himself with making the major changes, then taking over as head coach, because anything shy for them of making it to the NBA Finals would be a disappointment.
Absolutely. And what has to happen, that's why we say players 3 have got to step up, because 4 of them are in that rotation.
Key veterans that he acquired, and there's a hard foul. Mourning yelling at somebody. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Tayshaun Prince.
Well, in a series like this, there's going to be a lot of talking. Okay, guys are going to go down in there, and people are going to do hard fouls. Or, hey, I thought it was a hard foul, and you say, well, listen, this is playoff basketball. Plus, we all have no idea what else they're talking about.
Posey picks up his first. So Prince, of course, what a talented player he has become. And he's got so much poise in the playoffs. The reason is because he's played in so many playoff games. He has set an NBA record for most playoff games in the first 3 years by any player in NBA history. Now, granted, now you have the first round series as best of 7, so he's obviously going to play more than players in years past. But he's out there. He's so durable. Hasn't missed a game in the regular season or the playoffs in the past 3 seasons. Williams, that's a 2-pointer.
Jason is having an excellent offensive game. He's now 5 for 6 from the field, so you have to pay attention with him, because he'll not only take that 3, but he's excellent when he dribbles to his right hand and stops on a dime.
The Heat have come back with an 11-1 run on their own. Hamilton has some room.
Yes, he's struggling right now. He's 4 for 13.
This is another one, and Walker with the rebound. Walker having a good, solid game. Jason Williams, quick shot won't go, and Ben Wallace rips it down. That's number 11 for him.
Let's see with this group, with Lindsey Hunter in there right now and McDyess, if they can pick up the tempo here.
Hamilton drags that pivot foot, but hangs on. Hunter with 8 on the shot clock. Thought about it. Prince the rebound. Kick it back out. Hamilton for 3, won't go. And they'll hold it for the final shot of the 3rd period. Only 34% shooting for the Pistons, but they're just down by 5. Hamilton, plenty of contact. McDyess can't hit. And that will end the 3rd quarter. It's starting to get very physical.
Yes, it is. And give the Heat a lot of credit. Their defense has been excellent this quarter. They're being physical. They're taking care of their board, and they're right in your face.
The Pistons missed their last 9 shots from the field. And more importantly for the Miami Heat, with Wade going to the bench with 4 fouls, they hold on and lead by 5 as we head to the 4th.
I've been a long dog boy. At the top of my voice, say, look at me, mama, I'm making some noise.
You're watching the NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN.
4th quarter is set to begin. The Palace of Auburn Hills. It's game 1 of these Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat have led most of the way. As we look at our Coors Light freeze cam, and it concerns Dwayne Wade, who's been sitting with 4 fouls.
Now just keep an eye on Drain Wade as the ball comes back out. Now watch Ben Wallace at the bottom of your screen. As Wade goes by, Ben Wallace is going to come out, rotate out, and then take that charge. No doubt about it. 3 of his 4 fouls from the offensive area.
So he went to the bench early in the third with the 4 fouls. The Heat lost their lead as Detroit went up by 5, but a terrific turnaround. And now you see how they outscored the Pistons with him on the bench over the last 7 minutes.
Well, right now they're going to a 2-3 zone, looking for the traps.
Walker, long 3. And Wallace with his 12th rebound.
Right now with Lindsey Hunter in, right, you can see that Flip Saunders is trying to change the tempo here. The Pistons have missed their last 9 shots. The big 3, Billups, Hamilton, and Rasheed Wallace, are 11 for 37. That's 29%.
Both teams have only 2 starters on the floor as we begin the 4th. Hunter, good drive. Ball tipped and taken by Posey.
This is you got to be careful now.
Williams.
They'll shoot the 3.
Posey. And McDyess the rebound.
With this group out there now, you have Jason Williams, Gary Payton, Posey, and Antoine Walker. All guys that in transition have the green light to shoot the 3.
Prince, way off the mark. And Payton tells Jason Williams, slow it down.
Yeah, see, at the Piston end of the floor, they just cannot find anyone who can make a shot.
Tony Delk getting his first minutes of the game. Entry pass knocked away. Excellent defense from Hunter. Once again, a defensive spark. Goes up a wild shot, not a smart play.
Bad shot.
A little sloppy, a little rugged, ragged here to start the 4th.
Well, that's the deal also. You know, Lindsey gives you a lot of energy and he goes to the hole. But, you know, it'd be nice if he could finish with his left hand. It would be great.
Payton wide open and gets the 3 to go down. And just like that, the Heat are up by 8.
That's what we said about this group now. They're dangerous. You see, you can't fall asleep. You have to understand who's on the floor. They are all 3-point shooters.
And Gary Payton having his best scoring game of the playoffs. He's got 14 points. The Pistons, meanwhile, have missed 12 straight shots, and finally, the drought ends. It's their first field goal in 6.5 minutes.
Well, you have to work through McDyess and Prince with this group that's out here right now. McDyess in the post area, and then Prince either on isolations or that off the dribble, he'll force the double team. Now at this end, they just got to get going again, get their continuity.
Payton feeling it a bit offensively. Walker off the mark again. Early minutes here in the 4th. McDyess doubled. They go right back again, and a foul on the entry pass by Walker. So Walker picks up his 2nd foul, first team foul.
Mike, that's good strategy. You know, McDyess is so good, especially on the left side of the floor with his back to the basket. He can take it to the hole, or he can go for that baseline jump shot. Now, the big thing is that they're fronting him, pushing him out wide. Well, that gives you the opportunity to throw the lob pass. What you want to do right now is try to get the Heat in foul trouble so that you get into the penalty as early as you can because you're 17 for 18 from the line.
Meanwhile, Wade comes back in. Haslam also returns. Walker and Jason Williams sit. Billups and Hamilton return for the Pistons. Chauncey Billups, the leading scorer for Detroit with 16. Hamilton's been off. Rattles that one in.
When did we see that last? I think it was in the first quarter. That's why we keep bringing that out. You cannot play this guy, Rip Hamilton, off of that curl. He's murder off the curl. He'll either get that medium jump shot or he'll take it to the rim for you.
Wade, he's been sitting a long time. Gets inside, draws the foul. They say before the shot, not a continuation. Hamilton bumped him. And Hamilton will pick up his 4th foul. Pat Riley and the Heat trying to come in. They want to get that win on the road to start these Eastern Conference Finals. With 8:41 remaining in the 4th, right now a 6-point advantage. Early fourth quarter of game one, time for the city storyline, and something you talked about right from the start. Miami's supporting cast getting it done, UB Brown.
Yes, they are. We said that the pressure is on this group to step up, and especially with Wade in foul trouble, they've done an excellent job. Now, at the other end, the Big Four, who dominated in the four-game series, regular season, scoring 63 points between them every night. Here they are, 15 for 49. They're coming in at 31%. Now, can it change? Of course, because they're getting good looks at the basket. They just need a hot streak.
And you look at Miami's defense, which has been inconsistent this year, but they played a solid game defensively here in game one. But as you say, it's not like the Pistons haven't had the good looks.
No, they're getting good looks, but they're medium looks, Mike. Forcing the jump shooting game. They're not getting to the rim for the easy layups.
Morning inside, left-handed, flips it up and in. Tough shot. As Morning quickly points down and says, nice pass.
Well, you know, see, he can hit that. He's can finish with either hand. He's got the right-handed hook and a jump hook with the left hand.
Hamilton looking for McDyess. Antonio McDyess can't connect, and Haslam, his 8th rebound of the game. He hasn't scored, but his defensive rebounding has been solid.
No, he's doing an excellent job at the defensive end as well as the defensive board.
Wade inside, and Wade now 8 of 9 from the field.
He's open. He's open on that, Mike, every single time on that stack. Either he comes on a curl or he gets his out on the baseline, and then he's coming on the baseline.
And a foul. Away from the ball, it's going to go against Alonzo Mourning.
Now keep an eye on Wade here. You see, he just attacks. He's so quick. He gets you there. He gets there before the rotator because he's not coming over the top. If you cheat and try to go up over the top of any stack or any screen, he's fading, catching the ball, and then attacking on the baseline side.
Because of 4 fouls, he hasn't played a lot. Phillips can't hit Wade with a rebound. He's only played 20 minutes. Yet it's Miami with an 8-point lead.
Big thing right now is just go to what's been good to you. You've been real good in one-on-one situations for Wade, or also your continuity.
Wade spinning, knocked away, and Mourning though with the finish. And the Miami Heat now with their largest lead of the second half.
Well, see, that very unselfish. That time, as soon as that double team guy was coming, he was looking for Mourning going to the rim.
And the crowd a bit stunned again. Hamilton inside, blocked. Mourning got it.
Great block.
And here come the Heat the other way.
That's his second block in limited time.
And the Heat can take their time now with this 10-point advantage. Posey, tough turnaround. And McDyess the rebound. Inside pass, and McDyess, a hard foul, flagrant foul.
Oh, boy.
McDyess says something to Posey, and Posey, he has a flagrant foul already in the playoffs on Kirk Heinrich in the Chicago series. That's the one he got suspended for. So McDyess will get 2 free throws, and the Pistons get the ball.
Now just keep an eye on this. See, now you say, well, he went for his arm, all right, from the elbow up to the hand. Well, the interpretation is that it was too hard of a foul. He didn't catch him in the head. You say, Posey in defense will say, I was going for the block, and I'm going to make sure that I catch you across your arms.
The referees will be quick to say it has nothing to do with whether you go for the ball. It's the definition of the flagrant 1 foul is unnecessary contact, and one of the things they look at is the follow-through. And Posey looked like after the foul, there was some follow-through. So
amen. Amen to that.
So it could be a big turnaround. And now, back to 8 points. Posey's going to sit down. And Chandon Anderson, a good defensive player, will get his first action of the night. Pat Riley trying to go with some defensive players here. Mourning's been on the floor. Now Anderson comes in. Payton remains out there. And a foul on the entry pass. This time it's Udonis Haslam picking up the personal, and the Heat now racking up the fouls. That's the 4th team foul with 6:18 remaining. Next one's the penalty.
See, this is good basketball. See, you work through McDyess. They're trying to front McDyess. They do not want to let him get a good look. Now, that's the 2nd foul in trying to play McDyess in that area.
McDyess back out. Phillips.
Good pressure.
I think Payton got a hand on it.
Yes, he did.
The official saying no deflection. Payton just started going up the floor. Just by the way the ball went, it appeared he deflected it.
Well, you can see Chauncey Billups, that ball was way offline. And it happened right in front of us.
Pistons now shooting 32% from the field. Wade, tough shot, knocks it down. 9 for 10 from the field is Wade.
Made that look very easy. Rip Hamilton was right up on him, cut off the line, cut off the path to the basket. Now this is show-up time. Good timeout right now by Flip Saunders. They've got to regroup.
And the crowd is stunned right now as the Heat bench continues to play well. Alonzo Mourning with his defense and adding some offense as well. Mourning so tough, looking for his first ring. Doing it at both ends of the floor for the Miami Heat. Still plenty of time remaining, but it's a double-figure lead for Miami.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Brought to you by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light. Taste the cold. And Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
Here in Detroit, Miami's already won 3 games on the road in this postseason, and they have a 10-game or 10-point lead. We just passed the midway point of the fourth as we check in with Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, Pat Riley very pleased with this team's defensive effort right now. He just told them, hey, that's 3 defensive battles in a row that we just won. Let's try to get one more to put them away. Now let's send it over to Jim Gray.
Lisa, Flip Saunders just diagrammed a play, a very quiet Piston huddle. On one hand, there was no panic, Hubie and Mike, but on the other hand, there certainly didn't seem to be any sense of urgency.
Well, there's never real panic with this team. They're always so poised. They do it the hard way. Wallace lost it. As Rich Hamilton has said, if it ain't rough, it ain't right. I don't think Flip Saunders wants it rough like this, though, with 5.5 to play in the fourth.
Well, they're just having such a difficult time getting to the rim out of their half-court sets. The other factor is they're getting nothing in the painted area. All right, then you multiply the fact that they cannot make a medium jump shot anywhere from 8 feet to 17, 18 feet. They're getting it time after time. But when you look at Chauncey Billups and Hamilton, they're struggling right now. They're 10 for 35.
Look at the numbers without O'Neal. They also increased their lead when Wade went on the bench with 4 fouls. So you really have to credit this Miami supporting cast. And again, doing it on the road. Meanwhile, Rip Hamilton just picked up his 5th personal. He stays in the game, has to, with his team down 11.
Well, they ended the season strong, meaning Miami. They finished a shade under 100 points a game. In rounds 1 and 2, they averaged 101. Now, you look at the score, you say, gee, we're only going to be in the 80s possibly, maybe not even get to 90. Is it possible? Well, you know what? They're still in control because they're playing and working hard defensively.
Prince spots up for 3, in and out. And O'Neal back in the game with a rebound. The Miami Heat have played a terrific game here in Game 1.
They're taking the Pistons out of the first and second options, doing an excellent job on rotation down on the baseline.
Wade again draws the foul as the Heat guards have beaten the Piston guards off the dribble.
And I think it's been a consistent situation. They're doing it easily, and the rotation guys have been late. They have been late getting there to take the charge or to force the player to make a pass to the perimeter.
And Wade gets to the free throw line, 5th most free throw attempts in the NBA this season. A reminder, the Eastern Conference Finals continue Thursday night on ESPN and ESPN HD. Game 2 right back here at the Palace. And our coverage will begin at 7:30 Eastern. Wade so efficient in limited time because of the foul problems, and right now the Miami Heat with their largest lead of the game.
Well, we've played 7 minutes, Mike, in this quarter. The Pistons are 2 for 11.
Wallace, Pistons looking for someone to find the hot hand.
Well, they're going to take Wade down in there.
Prince, smooth. 14 for Prince.
Yeah, I like the strategy. The idea is naturally to have Wallace be the passer up over the top of the 4-man and then have Prince get down in there and post Wade up and hope that possibly you get him in foul trouble. But Miami's smart right now. They're going to run the clock.
Payton. Shot clock winding down. Wade with the fake, getting rid of Ben Wallace. And Rasheed Wallace, good rebound.
Detroit needs some quick scores here. They need to hold the one shot, get the ball up the floor, and see if you can do something in transition. See, they've been showing very good on that high pick and roll.
Ben Wallace on the finish after a pretty pass from Billups.
We have not seen that, Mike, in a long time. That kind of penetration, getting in there for the easy, and then forcing the big man to help you.
3.5 remaining. Still, again, plenty of time for the Pistons. And Rasheed Wallace, no, offensive foul. They call it on Haslam for the wraparound. And Haslam picks up his 5th personal.
Miami's got to be careful now. They need solid defense. Now keep an eye on this now. You have no place to go. Say, all right, he grabbed him with the left arm. They'll call that every single time. That was too obvious.
Billy Spooner right there, and Haslam using it to gain the advantage, so he'll sit down. He's got 9 rebounds, although, as you see, hasn't scored. Billups trying to find an opening. Lost it.
Oh, 2-on-1.
Wade to Walker. And Walker able to put it in, the lead back up to 11.
Yeah, he shielded himself. That was a smart move by Antoine Walker. A beautiful pass by Wade.
And it's very quiet here at the Palace as we go under the 3-minute mark. Pistons have only lost one other game in the playoffs at home. That was Game 5 against Cleveland. As Hamilton knocks that one down. This was the toughest place in the NBA to win for visiting teams. Regular season, they were 37-4. And here during the playoffs, 6-1. Well, they're in some danger right now. O'Neal. And fouled before the shot. A 3-second violation call against Shaquille O'Neal. And we'll have a timeout. Just over 2.5 remaining here in the fourth. Shaquille O'Neal can afford to laugh and smile because the Miami Heat playing a terrific road game. Wade with the setup. 9-point lead for the Heat. Smiles on the road.
'30-30 update. Barry Bonds, of course, trying to pass Babe Ruth. Needs one more home run, but he's still stuck there. Does have a single against St. Louis tonight. Meanwhile, Albert Pujols has his 23rd home run. Maverick center Desanya Diop shut down Tim Duncan in overtime. Despite a broken nose, he'll wear a face shield in the Western Conference Final. And the Suns will decide just before tomorrow's game time if Kurt Thomas will play in Game 1 against the Mavericks. Thomas has missed the last 43 games with a stress fracture in his right foot. Mike, back to you.
John, thank you. 2.5 remaining in the fourth. The Pistons down by 9 in some trouble. You know, you being watching the game, the Miami Heat, they were off for a whole week. They came out with so much energy to start. The Pistons, this is their 6th game in 11 days. In terms of measuring who has the more energy, who just looks livelier, there's no question the Heat.
Yeah, that's true, Mike. But in defense of Miami, their defense has been outstanding also, along with the energy. And then also you look at Detroit and realize that you cannot have your 4 best shooters struggling where they're shooting right around 30%. And as a team, only 33.
Well, kind of an interesting strategy here from Pat Riley. His team is up, yet they deliberately fouled Ben Wallace with 2:28 remaining. O'Neal went right over and grabbed him, putting Wallace, who has been really struggling at the free throw line. In the playoffs, just 24%. He's now 10 of 43. I've never seen this from the team ahead, you.
No, that was definitely planned, came out of the huddle. Now remember, Ben Wallace has now missed 12 straight foul shots, so the pressure on the young man is really incredible.
Now, do the Pistons do it to Shaquille O'Neal? They only have 25 seconds. And now they do it to O'Neal.
Yeah, they go and get him.
Because you can do this up to the 2-minute mark.
Right.
Once you get under 2 minutes, it's not going to work. It's considered an away from the play foul.
Now, they had a foul to give, so you're going to take it on the side. So now everything at both ends will be the penalty.
We've seen this over the years with various players. O'Neal, of course, the hack-a-shack, but they're going to take him out of the game and put Haslam in. But to see the team with the lead do it, Pat Riley do it with his team up by now, I've never seen that.
Riley said the situation, so apparently he's decided to go for it. We'll send it over to Jim Gray.
Well, in that situation, he was inside of 2.5 minutes.
All right, he'd be before the game. Flip Saunders was asked the exact same thing as Walker makes a basket that. Would he retaliate? Would he go to the hack-a-shack? He said, I've always resented it when it's happened to Ben, but yes, I will. And if it happens, it could be an awful long night because if we keep putting these guys on the line, we may never leave.
But now that you're under 2 minutes, it doesn't matter because the rule called away from the play foul. It would be 1 free throw and the ball as Rasheed Wallace knocks it down.
Got plenty of time here. Main thing for Miami, you want to run the clock, and then you just do not want to settle. You want to get good open shots, but preferably going to the basket.
Well, with a 9-point lead, we're now coming up on a minute and a half remaining. Pistons are running out of time. One of the fans heading for the exits.
Yeah, smart basketball. You run the clock.
Walker and Wallace tips it to Hamilton. Pistons, Hamilton gets inside.
Oh, now this is going to be close here.
Well, back to a 7-point game, 1:20 remaining. Pistons looking to force the turnover. You never count this team out.
Right. Main thing now is run your traps, try not to foul, try not to put this guy on the line.
Wade kicks it out. Payton gets it. 7 on the shot clock. Payton finding. Offensive foul? No. Yes. One official is ready to call a block, but Billy Spooner blew his whistle twice to blow him off, and he called the offensive foul.
Now, that was a great backdoor cut. Unfortunately, they did not see the defender, and Ben Wallace, they just moved right into position.
And Flip Saunders will call timeout. The Pistons will not go away quietly.
Now, Mike, we said earlier, just about 30 seconds ago, there's still plenty of time in the game. You cannot lose sight of the fact of run time. Now, this is Ben Wallace sacrificing. That was an easy call and an excellent call.
I'm out in the cold, fighting so with nowhere to go. I'm out in the cold.
Just over a minute remaining in Game 1 in the conference finals. In the past 16 years, Game 1, as you can see, has been so important. Remember last year, the Eastern Conference Finals, it was Detroit that had the road win in Miami in Game 1, and they wound up winning the series in 7. Now the Heat trying to turn the tables. Shaquille O'Neal will sit this one out, so doesn't have to take the free throws, but the Pistons have the ball down 7.
Right now, Pat Riley's going with his quick team, with Haslam and Posey and Antoine Walker up front, Wade and Payton in the backcourt, so that they can defend and that they can also do a good job defending the potential three-point shooters. Antoine Walker on Wallace, so if you go to Wallace quick down inside, he should be able to go strong to the hole.
Prince has to get it in. Hamilton now drives hard to the basket, blocked by Wade.
Great play.
And Wade trying to get away.
Now that was a terrific play. A great anticipation by Dwayne Wade. He came from the other side of the lane.
And Wade turned his foot a little bit.
Yes, he did.
As Billups bumped him, and Wade a little shaken up on the play. So he'll go to the line. What a terrific defensive play here from Wade
right.
on the weak side.
Keep it like on the left-hand side. See, he leaves his man. He comes all the way in from playing Prince in the corner to get this. Beautiful anticipation.
And Wade, again, only 26 minutes because of the 4 fouls, but 22 points. He's 9 of 11 from the field. But the play of Alonzo Mourning has really helped out.
Well, it's been a great team effort tonight, Mike. You know, you've emphasized it time and time again. Pat Riley has gotten outstanding production, you know, from Walker and from Williams and from Payton and then from Mourning. So the supporting cast has stepped in here big with not only the points, but also excellent defense.
Last year in the conference finals between these two teams, the road team won 3 games. Looks like the road team's going to win Game 1. Hamilton puts it in. 37.5 remaining. It's a 7-point game. They need turnovers instead of the quick foul. As Billups picks up his second, and Wade will go back to the line.
Well, Wade very consistent on the line. You know, he's in that 78 to 80%. And you know that he relishes going to the line with the game on the line.
So Wade walks to the line. A reminder, following us on ESPN, it'll be Sports Center. Steve Levy and John Anderson. That's the post-game coverage of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, plus the NBA lottery picks are set. Toronto's got the number 1. And live Barry Bonds at bat. So coming up on Sports Center, following action here at the Palace, which has left everyone stunned. The Pistons have not made it easy once again. They'll have to come back. As Prince the rebound. A very impressive road performance for the Miami Heat. Prince able to put it in. 6-point game. It's still not over yet.
That's right. Come on, this is an NBA game. And Detroit is sitting on 1 timeout and a 20. The big thing is they got to get a steal or a quick foul and hope here now that you get a double miss. Now, if you get a double miss here, you still come down the floor, and still, if you can get a quick basket, you have 1 timeout and a 20, so you got 2 timeouts to move the ball.
But their hope right now relies on missed free throws. Posey 67% in the playoffs with 22.3 remaining.
For me, in crunch time in Memphis for 2 seasons, I wanted James Posey on the line. Now, I know he's struggling right now, but he, for me, was always a high 80% foul shooter.
For his career, he's 82%, and calmly sinks both there. And Flip Saunders will call timeout. Many here in attendance at the Palace already headed to their cars as the Miami Heat on the verge of a very impressive Game 1 victory. Detroit will try and score very quickly. Now, after tonight, they'll be back here at the Palace on Thursday. That game on ESPN. Then they head to Miami for games 3 and 4. Game 3, again, 8 Eastern on ESPN. And game 4, Monday night. That game will be on ABC. Again, very impressive for the Heat on the road. You look what they've done so far on the road in these playoffs, because they were just a mediocre road team during the regular season. They win in Chicago, the Game 6 clincher, and then they win games 3 and 4 in New Jersey. Very impressive road performance in the playoffs.
Well, give them all the credit because they dictated the pressure of the game. They've been excellent offensively. Their 2 star players have stepped up and scored, but then the supporting cast has done an excellent job. Now, at the other end, when the Pistons look at this video of this game, they're going to look at it and say, you know what? We had a ton of open shots, but they were all in that 8 to 18 to 20-foot range, and you must knock them down.
As Pat Riley and Dwayne Wade can smile at the way his team has played tonight, despite the fact that Wade had all the foul problems. But the key, when he went out, the team actually increased their lead in that 3rd quarter when he picked up his 4th foul. Pat Riley has to be pleased with his bench. Again, a lot of the players that he acquired that had their ups and downs during the regular season, but starting to play their best ball now here in the playoffs.
I think the impressive thing also is the fact that they've been able to maintain over 55% shooting, Mike, and that's very difficult to do against the Pistons.
Billups, that's a 3 for Chauncey Billups. That makes it a 5-point game with 14.3.
Still not over here.
Wade gets
stop the clock. You got to stop the clock.
Walker inside. Prince felt that he fouled him down the other end, but it wasn't severe enough to get the whistle blown.
Now you got to make sure in a situation like that. Come on, it was 14 seconds. You're only down 5.
Well, the Detroit Pistons run out of time with 3.3 remaining. The Heat will inbound, and just like last year in the Eastern Conference Finals, the road team takes Game 1. An impressive performance from the Miami Heat. Shaquille O'Neal, not big numbers, but he played well. Dwayne Wade in foul trouble with big numbers, 25 points on 9 of 11 from the field. And the Pistons with only their 2nd home loss in the playoffs as we go to Lisa.
Thanks, Mike. Dwayne, if I had told you before this game that you would only play 27 minutes, what would you have thought?
I said you was lying, first of all. I ain't played that many. That's the less minutes I played all year. But our team did a great job. They stuck in there, made the plays they had to, and 4th quarter, I said it was my time.
Describe how your supporting cast performed tonight, especially Jason Williams, Antoine Walker, Alonzo Mourning.
Well, the way they've been performing all playoffs, hitting big shots. Alonzo was a big force down low when Shaq went out, blocking shots, changing shots. And Jason Williams came out, hit some shots. And, it's just great when your team playing well. So hopefully we continue to do that.
Now, Pat Riley seemed to surprise a lot of people at the end of the game going to the hack-a-bend strategy. What did you think of that?
I was surprised, too. That wasn't something we talked about. So I guess him and Shaq must have looked at each other and said it, but it was a great strategy. You know, you missed both free throws at a key time, and we got the rebound, and we went down and hit the free throw.
All right, thanks a lot, Dwayne. Good luck in game 2. Mike, back to you.
All right, Lisa. The Heat take game 1 on the road. For a recap of tonight's game, join us shortly on ESPN News. Coming up next on ESPN Sports Center. Of course, we'll be back here in Detroit for game 2 of the series. That'll be Thursday night right back here at the Palace. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. So for producer Eddie Fibershoff, director Drew Esikoff, Yumi Brown, Lisa Salters, Jim Gray, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Green saying so long from the Palace as the Miami Heat take game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.